Hello everybody, this is Debo at Debo's Movie Reviews here, and this week's review will be Spectre, starring, of course, Daniel Craig as James Bond, Ralph Ray Fiennes as M, Andrew Wishaw as Q, Leah Sadu as Madeline Swan, featuring Monica Bellucci, Dave Bautista as Mr. Hanks, and, of course, Christoph Waltz as Erstov Blofeld, alongside Andrew Scott as C, and Naomi Harris as Miss Moneypenny, featuring a bit piece from cameo of Judi Dench in her final appearance as M, which I'm not sure how much credit she got from just because of how she's only using like footage because she dies in given how her version of M dies in Skyfall, which I always kind of thought her participation in it was like a glaring continuity error from starting out with GoldenEye and the Brosnan timeline, and of course the reboot of Craig. Hopefully, they don't keep Ray Fiennes and all the new people in there for the next reboot. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good jobs, but that'd be just a glaring continuity error of can't. Yeah, and I'm talking about the same kind of continuity errors that debunked the whole code name theory. Whereas I say original canon to me goes to Connery to Dalton, Brosnan soft reboot, Craig full on reboot. Next guy, hopefully Dominic Cooper or Henry Cavill, straight up reboot. Just on basis. But overall, I gotta give it the whole to Christoph Waltz because he did an excellent job as Blofeld. And I say with Bautista as Mr. Hanks, yeah, he did a good job. Though I kind of expected him would have thought he would have done better if they made him Jaws. So if they're gonna bring back Blofeld, bring back Jaws, but this time have him work for Spectre this time, since Jaws only appeared in two more into Spy Love Me and Moonraker, which is the more timeline than the Everything or Nothing, which was Brosnan game, the video game, which was a sequel to sort of sequel to Video Kill, given how the villain in that played by Willem Dafoe was an underling of Max Zorin. It was non-existent in the original Video Kill. And then, of course, with Spectre, kind of surprising they named the movie Spectre, but not once did they ever do the whole acronym of it, explain it as an acronym, like in Dr. No and Never Say Never Again. You hear it as a special executive for counterterrorism, revenge, extortion. But in the movie, they just call it Spectre. I mean, it's kind of like another thing where they have one scene where Q's watching CNN, and it just reminds me of that line from GoldenEye where M says, "Unlike the American government, we prefer not to get their bad news from CNN." Hell, I got even that old chase scene with that Aston Martin DB10. I mean, it's almost a badass for between Aston Martin and McLaren, especially when Bond gets cut off by that Fiat and he pulls some Talladega style moves on him by just drafting that boy out the way. And of course, on that, then of course, you get that Roman aqueduct, which aqueduct chases is pretty much have always stood out since. Because yeah, you always look at it as a nod to Terminator 2 on that one. And of course, some little downside I already mentioned about how Batista should have been cast as missed opportunity to bring back Jaws to the Craig timeline. Though Batista and Richard Kiel did have similar mannerisms of like big and didn't talk and rarely talked. Whereas Blofeld, practically the only actor to play him twice, unless you count Anthony Dawson as the one the face that was never shown in From Lust for Love and Thunderball, despite playing that guy playing Professor Dent in Doctor No. Hell, and before I forget to mention it, and I gotta give it to Andrew Scott as C. Definitely, he was more the villain in Blofeld, where I said the whole Blofeld thing and the whole stepbrother deal was a little out there. Just talking about full on evil, about like trying to basically make it like the Loki to Bond's 4, or the Joker to his Batman. Which, playing Blofeld is as close as Christopher Waltz needs to be. Warner Brothers, if any of you corporate spies are watching this, please cast Christopher Waltz as Mr. Freeze instead. Hell. Another downside I gotta say is, of Lea Seydoux was, despite being the only Bond girl to return in the same role, I just didn't like the whole, the I hate guns but I know how to use them trope. Man, that's just stupid. That's just one of the dumbest tropes I've ever in action movies ever. That's about. I mean, I can't really compare it to because that trope is so dumb. I mean, yeah. But back to C, man, I gotta say, that guy was basically like the British Lindsey Graham. Come down to it, for a guy who had a bigger heart on for surveillance, and a puppet of the secret society known as Spectre, which of course, Spectre was a kind of good return to despite being only a part of the Connery and Lazenby movies, and a bit part of Blofeld in For Your Eyes Only, which of course you never saw that dude's face either. You just saw the bald head, the chrome dome, and his chrome dome and his cat. Jeez, despite not having a name, that cat is more prominent, more recognition than the actual Blofeld. I mean, but then again, you can't have Blofeld out the cat. Hell, especially if you're going to be someone as manipulative of a villain as Christopher Waltz could play, in one of his best roles. You know, it was a more great scenes was like the whole helicopter escape from the first beginning of the movie. Then the whole fight was part of the remnants of the old MI6 headquarters, and then of course with M fighting C, which I gotta say, Spectre is almost at least one of the most based Bond movies I've ever seen. You know, preaching the importance of the awareness of how warrantless wiretaps and mass surveillance is is I mean, damn right unconstitutional in America, to the point that I don't mean to get political, but Edward Snowden was right. And I could say C is about up there with the British equivalent of like a Lindsey Graham and George W. Bush. And at this point, I'll say, fuck, Kyle Bush is a greater American than George W. But overall, I gotta give at least Spectre a 4 out of 5. I mean, just the whole. I hate the Bond girl who hates guns but knows how to use them trope. You know, for her trying to be a psychiatrist, and then you get more of her backstory explained in the next In No Time to Die, which I'll be enough. I'll save for my review on that. Though I do think that Spectre should have really just been the perfect ending, given how Daniel Craig was pretty much reluctant to return, was pretty much done tired of being Bond at that point. And but overall, great action, great storyline. But overall, 4 out of 5.